Right, good evening everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of that weekly football show with Mr. Drone. You'll see I've got somebody sitting right here next to me. This is Ben. Ben is a Liverpool fan. I told you all last week that I was going to be joined by a Liverpool fan. Thanks to everybody who said that they wanted to come on. We had a lot of Liverpool fans messaging me saying they're happy to come on and represent their club. Thanks very much. Keep those messages coming. My idea is to get as many of you fans on as I can, but obviously only one at a time. It's only a small studio, okay? So, going to introduce you to Ben in a minute, but I just wanted to introduce the show. So this is episode 2. We are shooting this on Thursday the 9th of February 2022. It's going to be coming to you at tea time on Friday the 10th. So, let's get on with the show. Right, okay everyone, so first and foremost, as I said, this is Ben, the Liverpool fan. Ben, if you want to, I don't know if you want to tell everybody just a tiny little bit, don't take up too much time mate, but a tiny little bit about yourself if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I've come on, Nick's asked me as a Liverpool fan. I'm a season ticket holder, so I've been for about probably 4 seasons now. Share a season ticket with my mate. Me and Nick are friends, so we thought it'd be a good one to have a bit of a chat about football.
When you say you share your season tickets, do you guys do the standard drawing out hats and things, or do you have certain games that you go to?
No, what we do is we split the big games. So there's 6 big games we'd say. So it's the derby.
I'm so glad. I thought you were going to take the mick then and leave Everton out. Go on.
The derby's the big one for me.
Yeah, okay.
So it's the derby, Man United, Man City are in there now obviously, Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs. What we'll do is we'll toss a coin. Whoever wins the coin toss,
yeah,
we'll get first pick. I won it this time and went for the derby. He then went Man City, and then we just alternated, vice versa. And we do a little bit of a coin toss for the other games. So who has the first game of the season, who has the last home game.
Right.
And then we did a Champions League one as well to see how we split the Champions League games.
Okay, did you get first game of the season this season or last?
I chose the last one.
You chose the last?
Yeah.
Who's that against?
I think it might be Aston Villa.
Right, okay. And so you picked the derby as your first pick, so you're there Monday night?
I'm there Monday, yeah.
That's absolutely fantastic. I didn't know that before Ben come on today. I didn't know he'd be at the game. I knew he was a season ticket holder, but I also knew that he wasn't at every game, but glad you're there because moving on from that, you'll see we've got the usual 4 topics. As I've said on my introduction to this entire series last week, I'll be doing 4 topics each week. This week we're going to go for Jesse Marsch. You can probably see it on the screen. Jesse Marsch, Sacking. Then we've got Liverpool, because we've got Ben in. Not just because of that, but Liverpool's quite a topic at the moment. The Merseyside Derby, obviously, and then the weekend fixtures. Now, I think, and Ben even asked this when he said, one of the biggest topics this week is, of course, Manchester City and what's gone on with them being charged for breaking the rules. But I did say to Ben, I want to leave that at least a week or so to see what transpires out of it before I jump right into it. It's a massive story, and we're definitely going to be talking about that probably next week. Any Man City fans that watch, if you want to jump on, drop me an email down below. My email will be in the description or at the end. Drop me an email. So, without further ado then, we'll get into it. So, as I said, first and foremost, Jesse Marsch. So, as you'll see on the big screen here, right, for me, the reason why I've picked this, it's because we've had Lampard sacked already in the past coming weeks. And now we look at Jesse Marsch already being sacked, and I've just what did you think straight away of the Jesse Marsch sack? Were you
initially
surprised or?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Although he has been under pressure, but I was a little bit surprised, and I think he is a manager that had a style of play, and I think over time it might have worked, but I don't think the fans had accepted him.
Yeah.
And I think if that's the case, you're on a bit of a hiding to nothing.
I think you are. The minute the fans don't accept you, especially in Premier League football, I think nowadays as well, the managers have got the toughest job really, to keep it. Teams, the likes of players can not perform. Some players cannot perform for a period of time, and they seem to get away with it. They'll be dropped. Players are never sacked, yet managers are out the door so quick nowadays. I mean, what I've done straight away, as I'll just scroll down, and a few things I've put together just to look at it, is the stats. Just it's only brief. I'm not going to be a massive stato, by the way, guys, but just brief things. If you look, Marsch only had 20 games in charge. Do you think 20 games is enough for a football manager?
Definitely not, no.
So I don't. That's why I put it up there. I don't think 20 games they can do much at all, or bring in, like you said, the style. He had a certain style of play.
Do you know what? They lost the game to Forest, did they?
Yeah.
And dominated it. And if the result goes a different way, maybe it is a little bit different. But he was under pressure from the start, and I think following Bielsa was always going to be a bit of a problem for anyone. So unless you come in and hit the ground running properly, then it was always going to be difficult, I think.
You're right. So saying that he was under pressure from the start, this is the kind of thing that I've did possibly get though. So he was appointed. They let Bielsa go, and Bielsa had done great things, obviously, and I think the Leeds fans did obviously love Bielsa for what he'd given them and that. But then they went for Marsch, right, and he was appointed on the back of having the Leipzig job, right.
Yeah.
He was at Leipzig for only, I think it was 4 months or 5 months, right, and then he was let go on mutual agreement after they were sitting in 11th place in the Bundesliga. So the fact he was let go by them, I think that was the biggest job he kind of stepped up to. He was in charge of USA, but I think the Leipzig job is ultimately bigger, isn't it? They're expecting more. So again, he was given 4 or 5 months there, and then manages to land the Leeds job, Premier League club, and is expected to do better than Bielsa.
Yeah, I think the thing was as well, I don't think they appointed him immediately. I think they took a little bit of time and still landed on him, which makes it even more strange, really. It
does, so makes you wonder, doesn't it? Were they after him? Was he on their radar, or was it just...
Did they panic? They couldn't get a manager in initially and then thought, let's try him.
Yeah.
But because it didn't start well enough, I think he was on
hiding to nothing, and that's where the 20 games only explains things. But look at that though, under Jesse Marsch, 4 wins, 6 draws, 10 losses. And I just done it under Bielsa, 20 games before he was sacked. This what means in his last 20 games, won 5, drew 7, lost 10. It's not huge, is it?
It's not dissimilar, but
all it is, there's one more win.
Yeah.
And draw.
But they were on a really bad run and it needed to change, and that run's really carried on, I suppose, hasn't it?
Yeah.
If that's half a season, really, isn't it?
Well, I've just noticed that doesn't even add up to 20. Never mind. 22. No wonder Bielsa looks better.
Yeah, he's got more points.
That's what you're going to get on this show, everyone.
But if you look at that, so with 20 games under Marsch, it's only 18 points.
Yeah.
So that equates to less than 36 in a full season, which when they used to talk about 40 being like the magic points, then it doesn't look like they'd be staying.
If they've looked at that and thought, well, get out now rather than carry on. So
I think that could be the case.
I still don't for me. It's just always going to stick there for me. I'm not a fan of managers being sacked at all. I don't know if anyone's a fan of it, but I mean, I just don't support it. I just think, okay, if it's after so many seasons in charge and all of a sudden it's gone really sour, and it seems like this guy needs a change at the top now, but just so quick.
The other thing that I would say is if they've got a director of football who's doing a lot of the work in the background, then they can just appoint a different manager, then fair enough. But the fact that they've signed a lot of players from America suggests that he had a big impact.
Or
you're right. He was making the decisions.
Yeah, they just got that Weston McKennie, is it?
I think they've got about 3 American players, haven't they? And then they've sacked the manager who has probably brought them in and will bring somebody else in who's got a different idea. So if you've got a director of football who's making the transfers, then you can afford to be a little bit more like that. But when you do it that way, you run the risk of a new manager's thinking, I don't want any of them.
I don't want any of them, and we're stuck with them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, true. On that, so as I was saying about me not being a massive supporter in managers being sacked, I've just brought up the list of sacked managers already this season. When you look at this season, let's bear in mind we're only just I suppose we're just halfway through the season, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 gone already. I mean, poor Scott Parker.
It's almost half, isn't it?
Didn't even get a chance at the season, Scott Parker, did he?
I think after we beat them about 8-0.
Yeah.
And
They did get a couple of thumpings, I think, did they? Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he said after the game,
He'd upset them, didn't he?
I think he said something along the lines of we need to expect a few more of these.
Yeah, he upset them. He basically said we're not. He did say, didn't he? You're right. He did say we're not good enough.
Yeah.
In this league, and I think the real pessimistic attitude from him, they just thought, well, you can't have that drumming down into the players. So.
And when you look at it from their point of view, they've actually improved, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like, quite dramatically with the manager that
They have now. They have now, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we say that they are, luckily for me and Everton, they are back down there now. But I think they haven't lost 8-0, have they?
I think they'll still go if I had to predict.
Yeah.
But they did improve.
Yeah.
And like you say, if he at the start of the season is saying we haven't brought in who we wanted, expect a lot more of this after an 8-0.
Yeah.
Then the fans are rightly.
Yeah, of course. A few of the others. I mean, look at the next Thomas Tuchel, Graham Potter. Graham Potter's Potter was Graham Potter sacked Brighton? I don't. Or did he just left?
No, he left to go to Chelsea. We had.
It's just sacked stroke departed. Sorry.
We had a long debate about it, didn't we?
Yeah.
On our WhatsApp group about the whole Tuchel, Potter, Chelsea, Brighton, and I've said that I didn't think that it was.
You don't think he's the right fit from the start, do you?
I just didn't think it was right to get rid of Tuchel from the start, and I thought it was a gamble from Potter. Mm-hmm.
Look at the money. I mean, we're digressing a bit, and that's what will happen on this show. We'll just go wherever it takes us.
Mm-hmm.
But if Tuchel was still there and was given all the money that Potter would have, surely Tuchel does more with them, does he? Or does he pick those players that they've gone for? I don't know, but
I think he's better suited
to
dealing with the chaos of all them players.
And it is chaos at Chelsea, isn't it?
And that was what I said when Potter first went there, that my thoughts were Chelsea are a bit of a circus, and it was a new owner, so we didn't know, but they carried on in the same sort of vein of signed about 20 players.
Covered that in last week. It's mental. 323.3 million spent in January.
But he's a coach, Potter, so he likes to work with the group of players. How is he meant to do that with all them? Where does he start?
Exactly. Where do you start with them? Especially some of those must be egos. That when you're coming in for 110 million, Enzo Fernandez I'm obviously talking about. He comes in thinking he's the boy. Yeah, he's then got all these other superpowers there. They all think they're the boy as well.
Yeah,
so
you'll get a lot of people who say that would be a dream job to be able to manage them players, but there's too many of them. It's assembling them together midway through a season.
Yeah.
So
especially when, again, someone I touched on, you could only add 3 of them to the Champions League squad as well.
Yeah.
So you get all these big players come in. And I noticed quite a few of them had said, I'm really looking forward to Champions League football, I'm really looking forward to European football.
Yeah.
Yet you can only add 3 of them.
I don't think he's told them all who's coming.
So, he hadn't said, he hadn't let them all know.
Turned up the trainer on a Monday looking round.
Looking around, figuring, yeah. Expecting to see Aubameyang, and he was out the door, wasn't it? Well, I'm not on the Champions League list anyway. Yeah, so anyway, it's quite a few gone. Obviously, Lampard would stick out for me. Didn't agree with it at the time. Yeah. How can I now disagree? Yeah, we go and put in that performance against Arsenal. So, whether I don't support it, but sometimes clubs have to make decisions that, don't they? So, what I then thought though, what's interesting though, and this I don't know where you've looked at this, but this will be an interesting point. I've looked at who Leeds I've got lined up for the job. They played last night as well, Leeds. They played Manchester United at Old Trafford, and they 2-0 up, and United got back into it, and they drew 2-2. So, again, would you say that that's already the effect of Jesse Marsch not being there? I doubt it, but anyway, I've looked at who they're looking at, who is available, who's the favourites for the job. You've got I'm not sure even how you say his name, Arne Slot, or Arne Slot. Do you know who he is?
No, I haven't heard of him.
So
he's like a Norwegian town.
Okay, so well, close. So he's the Feyenoord boss. Might be from Norway for all I know, but he's the Feyenoord boss, and Feyenoord manager. I've had a look at it briefly last night. Feyenoord are top of the Dutch league,
Okay.
doing well, and he's only been there for a year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd think, and I'm sure he's favourite for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd surely think, if he's got them to the top of the division, surely, is he going to want to come to the Premier League and go to Leeds, who are looking a bit in trouble? Or is he going to want to finish the job and get...
You would hope that he'd want to finish the job, but the pull of managing in the Premier League and for a side like Leeds is probably, if he's offered it, he'd probably go. But
yeah.
You would hope that he would stay and try and win Feyenoord the first league for a while.
Think it's the pull of Leeds or the pull of the Premier League one?
Probably the Premier League,
yeah.
really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably the Premier League.
You're right. I think the Premier League does have a massive pull to it. But still, for me, and I'd probably look at it the wrong way. I look at it and think, if that was me, I'd finish that job there and get that title. But
I'm being contradictory, because the thing that I said about Potter was the exact opposite.
Okay.
I said Potter should be staying and doing what he can with Brighton until the end of the season.
Yeah.
And really, he should do the same, shouldn't he?
Yeah. Exactly. But I don't think. But Potter's already in the Premier League.
Yeah, I just mean from what's the best for your CV and carrying on the job that you're doing well.
Yeah.
That was the thoughts behind Potter and Brighton.
I definitely agree with you on Potter, by the way. I definitely think he should have stayed. I still think it now.
Mm-hmm.
Still think he's made the wrong decision, despite having all this money pumped in. Look, they had all this money pumped in. They played Enzo Fernandez. What's his name? Dio Biasi or something at the back. They played Mudryk. Basically all last Friday.
Yeah.
And drew against Palace, was it? Was it Palace or Fulham? Sorry,
it's going to take them time, isn't it, to gel?
Yeah. They were all straight in though, and I think, is that good? Coaching, managing?
Well, that's what he's a coach, so he would like probably a month with them to be able to work.
But he threw them all in.
Yeah, because they're probably better than what he had.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So how do you know this guy?
Yeah.
And only I do you know from a player?
I know the name.
Yeah.
If you'd asked me more about him, unless I read that, I wouldn't know.
Yeah. So he is the Rayo Vallecano boss.
Okay.
Rayo Vallecano, again, I've had to have a look at it. They're 5th in La Liga, which is obviously fantastic considering the side you've got there. But other than that, don't know.
They've been singing about playing Liverpool in the Champions League next year, but I don't think they've been looking at the Premier League table.
Oh, yeah. Have they? Yeah.
Yeah, I think they played Real Madrid last week.
Yeah.
And they were singing, about playing Liverpool
Really?
in next season's Champions League, but they've obviously not seen how bad we are.
Unless they back you to win it this season.
Yeah, possibly.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. They've got you to beat Madrid.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that, mate. Didn't know that. Funny. So they fancy themselves, do they? So they won't want to lose him then. And again, if that's what they're singing, his fans and that are singing that, it's kind of the same thing. But again, you'd probably say the same. It's the pull of the Premier League, the pull of...
What age was that other manager? Because he's only 40, isn't he?
He's young. The other manager's 44.
So they've got plenty of time, haven't they?
Yeah. Plenty of time when it comes to managers. Then we go to the, Ralph Hasenhüttl. And these are funny ones. So let me just nip down these, because obviously we know the Southampton. So we've got Ralph Hasenhüttl, Pochettino, Bielsa. They're the next 3, right? Sacked.
Yeah.
From previous jobs and recent as well.
I think he wouldn't go near Hasenhüttl or Bielsa, really.
No.
Pochettino, he's got good pedigree, hasn't he?
Of course he has.
And then the one that you didn't quite get to is the Celtic manager,
Yeah. Yeah.
who has done a very good job.
Very good job. So it was a bit of a turnaround for them, wasn't it? So he has done a good job, and if I were Leeds, out of that list, he'd be the one that I'd be focusing on.
Yeah, I think that's
personally,
fair enough.
He'd be the one I'd be focusing on.
Seen a few press conferences with him, and the way he comes across is really well.
Yeah.
I think he's done, Benitez.
Rafa Benitez.
Yeah, I think he's done.
Yeah.
I think he's yesterday's man. I'd be surprised if a Premier League club went for him now.
Yeah.
I think the game's moved on from how he manages.
Yeah. I agree. Couldn't agree more. To be honest, couldn't agree more. I think it was a bad move for Everton to go for him when we did, because it was never going to be accepted by all fans.
Yeah.
Never. I'm the sort of fan that, if whether I like it or not at the time, once they look, I said when we appointed Dice last week on my show, I said, look, I don't know. I don't know, and it's not something I'd sing and dance about and jump about. Then we go and pull off a performance like we did against Arsenal. So obviously right now I'm like, looks okay to me.
Yeah.
Right now, we'll see how it goes. I was the same with Benitez. I was like, not sure if we should have, but I will back him.
Again, going back to the WhatsApp group, I remember all of you were all, we'll take him, and however he does, we'll back him.
Yeah.
I was, saying I thought it was a very strange move to bring him in because of the links, but also because he hasn't really done anything for a long time before he'd come.
Yeah.
So there was two things. It was like, it's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. Then we move Michael Carrick.
He's doing really well.
Enjoying his time at Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Would it be a Frank Lampard type disaster though? Moving up to Premier League too soon, which is exactly what I think. I think Lampard should have stayed at Derby personally for a bit. He was doing okay there. Would it be that sort of thing? Seems to be enjoying himself.
It'd be a huge gamble for Leeds to bring him in with very little experience.
Yeah, I also think it'd be a huge gamble for Michael Carrick.
Yeah, I do.
I do. I think sometimes it just and like we've said for the ones further up, they're doing really well, and so the gamble seems to be all not just on Leeds but on these managers as well. They, look at
football's so short term, isn't it?
It is,
and that's the thing. A lot of these things,
especially for managers.
Get this chance again.
And
that's probably the Potter argument that everyone else will give. Will a Chelsea come in for Potter again? But I don't know.
So if he says no and stays at Brighton, he spends possibly the rest of his career there thinking, what if I did go to Chelsea? What if it worked?
Second half of the season and on quite the same side. And
he goes anyway.
Actually, he just had a good 18 months. So, I don't know. It's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. But, personally, I don't know. For me, like I said, if I was Leeds fan, director, I'd be wanting this guy. How'd you say his name, Ben?
Postecoglou,
there you go.
I agree, and I think because he's already won the league, you might be able to get him.
Yeah. That's what I mean. He's already, where we're looking at the others, and do they just finish the job first?
Yeah.
This guy could probably leave gracefully, and the fans would probably say thanks for what you did, like they did with Gerrard when Gerrard left Rangers. Don't get that, I'm confused. The fans will be going mad. But when Gerrard left Rangers, they couldn't really say anything because he'd done enough. And it was like, thanks for what you've done. Good luck. But
he's turned it back around, won the league. I think whatever he wins there now is just more trophies. They'll probably expect to win. Yeah. So that's what I go for. Right, we're gonna wrap that part one up, and we'll move on to part two right now. Right, okay, guys, moving on to part two. Liverpool. So, as you know, Ben's Liverpool fan, season ticket holder. Reason why I've got Liverpool up there this week is basically to basically ask Ben how he feels about what's going on at the moment. That's why I wanted the Liverpool fan in to get a Liverpool fan's perspective and views. So, we'll just quickly, if we look, in case anybody doesn't know, I'm sure we all do. But Liverpool, here's the league table. Liverpool currently sit 10th. Handily placed.
What was that?
Handily placed.
Yeah, handily placed, yeah. Well, never know. But 10th in the table for Liverpool is obviously a shock, especially considering the last few seasons. So, I mean, your season tickets holder, Liverpool fan, what's going wrong in your opinion this season?
Everything. I was speaking to a few of the lads over the last week or so, And it is hard to say that it's one thing.
Okay, yeah.
It's probably a combination of things.
Really?
Yeah, I think the main thing is they should have gradually recruited in midfield. So
Okay.
I think everyone will say the same things. The legs have gone up, the players in midfield. It might not quite...
The centre midfield, yeah.
Yeah, it might not quite be to that level, but Fabinho and Henderson, another year older, the amount of football they played, I think I mentioned to you, the amount of games that they played last season, I think it was high 60s. They played every game they could play
Tell you what,
last season.
I'll tell you how much it was.
Yeah.
63.
Yeah.
And that was 63 games last season. That's every game they could have played, which is a fantastic season.
It's also games that meant something.
Yeah.
So they weren't being able to switch off in games, they were having to go at it because they were going for the league right to the end, didn't quite get there. Obviously got to the Champions League final, had to give everything, got to both other cup finals that went to extra time.
Yeah.
You know, as long as it can be, every
Yeah.
game. But they should have been forward planning, really.
Yeah.
They should have brought in a midfielder maybe a year ago, easy.
Yeah.
Maybe even 18 months. It should have been. They should have foreseen the age of the midfielders that they had, and the amount of stress that they put on them with the way we play.
Do you think? Do you feel like the owners are still backing the club and backing the team then, or backing the manager to buy players, or like, because that's surely is that a failing on their part? Do you think it's backing, like, do you think it's backing, or do you think it's just because otherwise is it just the managers or?
It depends. So you don't know, obviously, because they haven't signed the players, but are they doing what they did when they would only sign players that they thought would be good enough?
Right.
Which was the whole thing, when we were desperate for a centre half and we waited for Van Dijk.
Yeah, remember that time? Everybody knew it, didn't they? Everybody knew that Liverpool desperately needed defence.
But we waited until January because of obviously what they've done.
And a keeper, I think, at the time before you had Nelson,
and everyone was saying, just get a defender, any defender, we need a defender, and they didn't. They waited and they got Van Dijk, and they waited for a better keeper and got Alisson.
Yeah.
And it worked. But does that always work? And should at times you compromise a little bit? I think they should have.
Is there anybody out there, like centre midfield, maybe over the last couple of seasons, that you think they should have made a move for? Anybody that's gone anywhere else that you think?
Like, as an example, the one who went to Fulham at the start of the season, Paulinho, I think he went for about 20 million.
Right.
And he's just a holding midfielder.
He looks good, him, actually. He looks good. He showed, I watched, did you watch Match of the Day? Or watch the game
I've stopped watching Match of the Day.
Have you? Fair enough. Believe it or not, this was the first one I'd watched for a while. But they showed his stats. I'm sure it was him in the full game against Chelsea, and he was superb.
He was excellent against us on the first game of the season when we drew 3-3, and the signs were there that we were all over the place then.
Yeah.
We've been outrun by virtually every side we played against this season.
I agree with that, and I agree with looking at the Wolves game, for example, just gone. It must be concerning because it almost looks like there's a lack of effort on the pitch, but it then goes back to is it the effort though, or is it the exhaustion?
I think it's the miles in the bank, to be honest. Yeah. To talk about it in like terms of a car, you know, the miles on it, how many miles a car's done in the end, it's going to end up packing in or not running as reliably. The amount of games that Liverpool have played, and especially these midfielders, and even the fullbacks, like Robertson's played how many games? They should have refreshed probably 2 years ago and done it gradually, and I think they've rested on it and they've given contracts out to the older players, which I didn't mind as long as that's alongside. They're bringing in the new players. There's a few people who are suggesting that there's been like drop-offs from Salah since his contract. Salah's not been great, but I don't think it's anything to do with he's got a nice big contract, he's put his feet up. I think it's more a case of
I wouldn't think that
when Liverpool's team's not performing, they can look all over the place. So if something's not quite right, the whole team looks a mess. Again, there's a suggestion about why did they let Mane go. Mane's not really pulled up many trees where he's gone. He's done all right. We do miss him.
But see, so you've jumped to one thing. that would be one of my big reasons
Yeah.
For you, for Liverpool, because I thought he was just class. I thought he was superb. For you, and mate, if I scroll down, did I bring some stats up? Yeah, I did. Look at that, I did, because he's one of the ones that I do think is one of the reasons. But like you say, it cannot just be because of Mane.
I agree. The only counterpoint I would say to that is that Mane, or Mane of 2 years ago, yeah, we missed that.
Yeah.
Will Mane now be that same Mane, or will he be?
Because is it the same sort of thing? There's more miles on the bike. Yeah, in the bike.
Been run into the ground. So as an
because
example,
he's not tearing it up at Munich, is he?
And he's had an injury as well, and we've had a lot of injuries that are again probably on the back of too much football.
Yeah.
And the same happened with Ronaldo.
Yeah.
He left. He got a really bad, I know it was a leg break, but he still ended up out for a long time. I think it's...
Where was that, when he was at PSG?
He went to Roma.
I thought Ronaldo went to PSG.
Went to PSG and then
went
to
Roma.
Yeah,
I didn't realise he'd gone to Roma. Okay.
I think he broke his leg.
Really?
And he's only just coming back now, but I think the amount of football that these players have played over 4 or 5 seasons was too much, and it was great, it's worked and they've won all these trophies, but now we're in a position where there's loads of them that are old and we haven't quite refreshed it. Then we've been unlucky, like to lose Jota for most of the season, to lose Diaz for most of the season. That's been really
yeah, definitely they're 2 massive players, especially Diaz for me.
Yeah.
He's outstanding. He is a class player, and he could be the one. When I bring up these stats, I think he is your replacement for this. But he's out. He's out for a long time, isn't he?
He shouldn't be too far away, hopefully. There is a bit of light. So
okay.
Training now is Van Dijk, Jota, Firmino.
Seeing Van Dijk, that you've got a few due back, but it's all, I mean, the way I'd look at it, I'm glad some of these players aren't back Monday night. I think they're looking at the week after, which is for an Evertonian's point of view, it's good for us, but obviously for you guys it's not great, because you are suffering with some injuries, aren't you?
At the moment they're all over the place, Liverpool, and we'll probably come on to the derby in a minute.
It's up there next,
but it's not a good time. It's probably a good time for Everton to play Liverpool rather than the other way around.
Or anyone right now,
anyone really.
But that does bring me back though to when you say that about it's a good time for them to play. I'll tell you what I will do before I jump on about that. You know, you said about you played every game.
Yeah.
So what I did look at, one thing I did look at, everyone, is the last time this happened, Liverpool was in the 2000 and 2001 season. You played every single game that season. The season after, you did finish second, only to Arsenal, and reached the Champions League quarter-final. But one thing you've already pointed out, which, well, as you were saying it, I thought, I didn't look at who you added, because you may, and you probably did, add players. I know, although I will say, I think that's the season you let Farmer go, and added
Anelka on loan.
And added Anelka.
Yeah.
It's also the season you did lose Gerard Houllier for a period of time when he fell ill.
The heart problem.
Yeah. But still, that was that season that you 01-02, after you played every single game the season before. You still finished second to Arsenal. You had a period where you dipped Christmas time.
Do you know what I would say? I could be totally wrong because I haven't got stats or anything.
Go on.
But in that 2000, I had a season ticket then as well, in 2000, 2001. And we had a really good squad then. I think we signed at the start of the season about 6 players.
Right.
But I think what Houllier did is he rotated loads.
Okay.
And I don't think we rotated loads last season. I think we relied on a core of players that have played most of the games, especially towards the end.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think thinking back to last season, I think I can't recall there being too many changes in that Liverpool squad. It was working, and you were going for it. So I think he had that. You know, he's obviously got that in his head. Or did you have the squad to rotate? A good enough squad that he felt was good enough to rotate?
Probably not. So that's probably it. So you assess it and go, well, let's do it. Let's see what we can achieve this season, and fingers crossed for next season. And
let's face it though, you're nearly you nearly did achieve everything though. You know, it was close. You know, was it second in the league, Champions League final,
by 1 point, and lost the final 1-0 that they probably dominated, and but for Courtois, you know, I know they lose, but they were very good in the final.
No, yeah,
other than finishing.
No, granted, yeah.
So I think they've probably done it right there by way of how they've approached the season. What they haven't done right is the gradual recruitment.
Yeah.
And they might just have to cop for it and have a season where they come 10th.
Yeah. It happens, I suppose. Look, there's, trust me, from our position, there's worse things that can happen. Going on when I said about the backing though, this is one of the reasons I said about the backing, and I brought this up because this is something I'd heard on the radio last week when they were talking about Liverpool, but there is 8 teams, probably 9 teams, let's face it, because City are below you, and that's, from what's come out this week, that's very unlikely to be the case, but there's 8 teams have spent more and invested more in Liverpool's. They've all got minus because that's just the spend, but spent more than Liverpool in the last 5 years, which is, but I suppose they've all not achieved.
Yeah,
you know that.
Is this just spend, not
spend,
sort of
just
spend against sales or anything?
No, I think it is. I think it is
spend.
net spend. Yeah.
Okay. The thing that is probably in our favour a little bit is we have been quite good at selling. Yeah. So some of the sales we've made have been for inflated prices that players probably weren't worth. Yeah. So there's quite a few of them that they've got money in that you're like, how have you done that? You know, some of the business we've done with Bournemouth for some players, you know, I think Solanke for 20 million and stuff like that.
It's mad, that, isn't it? That's they were some there were some mad prices there. Even I thought at the time, you know, you've done well to.
We've had a few of them.
You've done well to get those fees for those players. Makes you wonder if I don't know what goes through clubs' heads when they spend that, but on those players. But
there's no doubt about it anyway. In answer to the question about whether they're spending enough, no, in comparison to other clubs. But it depends on how people think football should work and, you know, how owners should be. They're not spending their own money. Most fans will say they should. Others will go, well, they're self-sufficient.
That's my impression of Liverpool. That's from an outside. That's my impression of Liverpool. That I never think that Liverpool will go and break the bank. Like how many times have you been linked with the likes of Mbappe recently? And who else was it? There was one. Jude Bellingham, the links there, and it's just in my mind when I hear these, I just think I don't know if Liverpool will spend that, because it's very rare that you see Liverpool just go and really splash the cash and go, right, we'll splash like 100 odd million on this player. Do you know what I mean? It's you just don't see it.
The 2 players that you mentioned before were bought with the Coutinho money, weren't they?
Yeah.
Coutinho went for 150 and we spent it on two players.
On Van Dijk and Alisson, yeah.
I've still, for some strange reason, got a feeling that we'll sign Bellingham.
Yeah, a lot of Reds do.
I've just got a feeling.
In the summer?
Yeah, in the summer, yeah. I think one of the reasons is that there's been no proper links to, other than Real Madrid. So Chelsea have just spent how much?
323 million.
They just spent 105 on Enzo Fernandez or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Why weren't they linked with him?
Yeah.
I think that's strange.
Yeah.
I think that's very unusual that they're splashing all that money out and they haven't gone for a 19 year old English midfielder who was supposedly available in January. Unless they know that he's going somewhere. It could be Madrid, but I don't know. It's probably hugely optimistic.
Unless they did. Contact the agent, like you say, unless they know he's going somewhere. So unless they did contact the agent and it was just, no, he's made his mind up.
Yeah.
He knows where he's going, it's not to Chelsea.
We'll see, but it wouldn't, even though it'll be a massive break from what Liverpool have usually done.
Be a great sign on that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
He's class. He is absolute class. He's class.
But
I'd like to see him in the Premier League.
But he wouldn't solve Liverpool's problems on his own.
Not going to tell you whether I'd like to see him at Liverpool or not, but no, okay. So yeah, you're right. It's not going to take. You've said that, haven't you? It's a combination of things. It's not just one. It's not just we need one midfielder.
But if you look at what we've got going on contract-wise and player-wise, we will be losing Keita, although that people might say that's not a great loss.
Yeah.
We'll be losing probably Oxlade-Chamberlain, his contract's up. Milner's will be up. So there's three straight away.
I'm sure there's a couple more as well, that are coming up.
Yeah, I think there's talk that they'd be happy to let Fabinho go, but there's only so much they can do. They probably need to sign 3 centre-mids.
Yeah.
There's talk of the Nunes from Wolves as if it's sort of pre-agreed, and he was going to Wolves as a bit of get a bit of Premier League experience.
Stopgap.
It's a bit of a strange one because the rumours are that he went for, say, high 30s and he's linked with Liverpool for about 40, and it's virtually the same money, and you're like, has he just gone over to give him a go in the Premier League and then Liverpool will just pick him up in the summer?
Side contracts or side agreements maybe, or something like that.
So there's talk of him, but they probably need 3 just to be able to fill the positions.
Yeah. Okay, so where do you think on lastly on Liverpool then? Where do you think you'll finish this season? Honestly.
Do you know, it's really hard to predict, because when we had the COVID season, or the season after when it was behind closed doors, and we lost 6 games on the bounce, 1-0 at home, and it was because we had no centre-halves, and we were like, get the centre-halves back, we'll be fine. I think we won the last 10 games of the season and ended up coming 3rd. This season we've got a combination of players out from different positions, so we can put a side out.
But they are coming back though, aren't they? Like you've said, they are. Yeah. They are like coming back, just going to get back up to that league table.
Do you know, it's a toss-up coin. Say if they beat Everton Monday and they perform okay, then you know things can change. But at the moment, it's hard to see even where the win's coming from.
Yeah.
So, honestly, don't know. It'd be huge to get Van Dijk back. Even though before his injury he wasn't pulling up trees himself, it's still to get him back will still be a big thing.
Probably be a big boost just for the rest of them as well, to know that he's back there at the back. I think I'd put you in. I don't know if I'd put you in the Champions League spots, mate, but I'd definitely put you in European spots. But I agree. It's a close league as well this season. I think, I don't even think right now. Personally, don't think Arsenal are going to win it after their last few performances. I think we're starting to see a little bit of a struggle. But it's a close one. It's a close one, and everyone's. Tottenham beat City, Everton beat Arsenal, Wolves beat Liverpool. You've got all. It's like anyone can beat anyone this season. That's how it feels. It feels that nobody's stepping onto that pitch. And like a few seasons ago, if anyone's playing City or Liverpool, you pretty much know you're getting beat.
To Arsenal, they've been pretty much like that this season. If you look, 16 out of 20, which is on a par with what Liverpool and City have been doing the last few seasons. We're just looking at the last few performances though, although when I say the last few, one of them was a cup game that they lost, because I know they've lost 2 in a run, but one was in the cup, wasn't it? They lost to City in the cup, did they?
City in the cup and then Everton.
The Everton one was the one that will hurt them a little bit, but City then lose. Don't they?
Yeah. And then United draw last night.
They're in the driving seat, definitely, and 50 points from 20 games. Now, Arsenal don't usually get points like that, and even when they've won titles, they haven't done that, I don't think.
True, okay. Do you think they'll do it then? Do you think they'll stick up there?
Yeah, I think they will, because I think City are too inconsistent this season. I think, again, when we've spoken on the WhatsApp group, I think City are finding it hard like Liverpool. I think the amount of football that they've played over the last 4 or 5 seasons, even though they've got all the money in the world, they've kept faith with a lot of the same players. And
there's not many additions. There's not, they haven't gone mad themselves, have they?
How's De Bruyne done this season?
Well, he's not started the last few games, which surprises me, to be honest. It does really surprise me.
I think he's got 3 league goals.
But apparently City fans are not surprised, because then watching it week in, week out are saying, well, he's not been great. So Pep's making a decision there. He needs to step up. But okay, so we will now swiftly move on to the Merseyside Derby. Right, okay, part 3. Everybody, this will be an interesting one. This Merseyside Derby, Monday night. You're going?
I'm going.
I'm going. So, I've been offered a ticket by one of my subscribers. Thank you very much for that. I think it was Mike. It's in the main stand, so obviously the Liverpool end. So if anybody sees me there, don't beat me up or anything, okay? What are your thoughts? Merseyside Derby, Monday night.
I thought you meant on you, come on.
What are your thoughts on me?
I'm in the main stand, I'm pointing you out.
Are you? Yeah. Oh, shit.
On the game and how it's likely to go, I'm a little bit nervous about it after watching you on Saturday morning, or
Yeah.
the early afternoon. Thought Everton were very well organised, worked hard, had a lot of energy, had a midfield that I think, given Liverpool's midfield at the moment, we might really struggle against them.
Yeah.
Especially there.
Yeah, so I'd say the same thing. I was at the Everton Arsenal game, and it was refreshing for me as an Evertonian. The energy was immense. It was, you know, for Arsenal couldn't really cope with it. It was every player as well, from back to front. Every one of them were chasing that ball, and I didn't know if they could keep going for the 90 minutes. I was expecting them not to, but they did. Mm-hmm. They kept it up. And I think if we turn up like that, that was at Goodison at the moment. I'd be quite confident, but such a tough game, Liverpool, for us.
Although it's at Anfield, I don't think that's going to be you haven't got the crowd behind you, you know, to drive on those sprints and stuff like that. But still, you know, we're just all over the place in midfield, so I'm very near. We played the same midfield the last 3 or 4 games, and the young kid, Jess, if that's how you say it, has been very good, but Thiago's not been great. I think he's a little bit all over the place at the moment. We're playing Keita. I don't think many people expect Keita to be there next season, so it's a bit of a concern, that, to be honest, but we have still got good players. So, you know, on the day, a Salah might just need one chance. He hasn't been great. Nunes had a little bit of an injury, so he hasn't quite looked right when he's come back, but if he's a little bit sharper, and fancy playing against
him. That obviously what worries me, that those two do perform. They have just half a good night, and we're in trouble, because they are just outstanding players. Salah, especially, you know, if he feels like all of a sudden something's happened in the week, he just turns up and he really fancies it, you're in trouble. Any team is. We did though at one point. If you recall, at one point, and this did happen at one point earlier in the season. Our defence was solid. Yeah, it was really solid. When Tarkowski and Cody were at the back, looked really good. We're missing Patterson. Unfortunately, he's still out. He's going to be out. He's actually due back week after next. It reports say, which is quicker than we expected. But he's probably been our best player, to be honest, of the season, Patterson.
I've been impressed by him. So the times I've watched Everton, I thought he's looked good. He played well in the derby, I think, the first game. But yeah, realistically, it's going to be very tight, I would say. Yeah, I'd be surprised if it's not, because he's going to set up Dice to be as organised as they are, or were against Arsenal. We're not creating a great deal. Yeah. So I think Everton will be quite hard to break down. Going to be a threat on counter-attacks. Going to have the set pieces for us to worry about. So a very tight game with the set pieces a worry for me. Yeah. You know, similar to how it was against Arsenal, even though Everton had more chances than just the set pieces, they did create chances. I'm worried that it'll just be really tight, we'll struggle to break you down, and then you'll be a threat on the break, but also have the set piece threat. Yeah. That's my concern. Yeah. I can't help, so I should definitely feel worried and concerned about the game, but I just, after being at the Everton v Arsenal game, I just can't help but feel a bit of confidence about the game for Monday night. It's probably wrong, because, you know, you look at all the head-to-heads and everything, and the stats speak for themselves. I haven't put the TV on because I haven't got any more for you, but the stats are quite horrible to look at for an Everton fan, especially going to Anfield. But I don't know, there's just this,
That's just something that I feel. I tell you what, if it didn't happen Saturday, obviously what happened then, let's say Lampard was still in charge, and we were just on this same rut. Obviously, do you know what? I probably wouldn't even be asking for a ticket off.
Yeah.
I'd probably be thinking, that's not.
I'd be expecting a win if Lampard was still there, definitely.
Yeah. If nothing had changed, then
if it was still the Everton of 2 weeks ago, I'd be expecting a win, despite how we're playing.
Yeah.
And the only thing I would say to counter what I'm saying is Everton, when they feel good and come to Liverpool, don't tend to do very well. Like there's been games where they've come a little bit more confident than usual and have ended up losing, and this potentially could be one of them.
Yeah, that's why I'm really not looking forward to the match, and I'm not confident at all, Joe.
You've felt that pain.
Yeah. No, but so you're right, but it's just such. I think this one is a tough one to call because you've obviously got everything about the derby and Everton v Liverpool, and we don't tend to do well at Anfield. You know, well, a couple of seasons ago, it was the behind closed doors match, wasn't it? We got the win there 2-0, but before that, I think you might. When was the last time we won there?
I actually remember it, and I'll tell you a little story about it.
Go on.
Because back when it was the Kevin Campbell goal, wasn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I was working in a factory in D-side, and I didn't watch the match, and I was working till late at night. And I'd asked the girlfriend at the time to Skype plus it for me, and I'd made sure I didn't know the score. And I'd got home from work at about midnight, and I'd said to her, "Don't you tell me the score." And I sat up and watched it for 2 hours, and then I went in and absolutely went ballistic because we lost 1-0. I think we had 2 players sent off, and she was like, "You said not to tell you," and I was like,
"Yeah, but you could have told me if it was that bad." Yeah, if it was that bad, you could have let me know. Yeah. Not to waste 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I sat up till about 2 o'clock in the morning. Everton won 1-0. I think we had 2 sent off.
That is a bad result.
Yeah.
That is a bad result. Yeah.
So,
yeah, I'm not surprised.
I think that was the last one. It's been about 99 or something like that before then.
That was the last one. You think we? Yeah. Okay. That is a bad one. So, I mean, I hope it's a good game. Obviously, I hope it's not a 0-0 bore draw as they call it. But on saying a 0-0 bore draw, right? Would you take that right now?
No.
No.
No, definitely not.
No.
No.
Funny thing is, I wouldn't either.
No, you shouldn't.
Whereas, but no, normally, if going to Anfield in a derby and everything, I'd be like, take a draw there. Definitely take a draw there. But no, I'm not. Now I'm like, well, we need points, and we showed last week that we can play well. We can play football. You know, we've showed that. So I just feel now that we've got that behind us. Beating Arsenal, as you pointed out, like I was the one that said I think they'll do it. You've possibly changed my mind with what you said. No one look at them. So we've possibly beaten the team that's looking like they're going to win the league.
Beating the best team in the league so far this season, and then coming up against us, who are your rivals, and the record's not great, but we're all over the place.
Couldn't come at a better time for us, could it?
Not really. The only way it would be better if it was at your place.
Yeah, of course.
That'd be the only reason.
Yeah, of course. Because even, like you say, you're all over the place, but even your injuries, I did tell you what I've got a couple of years. So we're missing. We've got Garner, Townsend. They're a bit long term thing. Patterson, Dominic Calvert-Lewin is apparently he's like that, but he had that injury. But it does say he'll possibly be back. I think he'll be playing personally.
Yeah.
And then Michael Keane, who doesn't.
So most don't play.
Don't play it. No. So the only ones there, obviously Patterson, but we knew he was out, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. For yourselves, you got Diaz, Arthur, Canate, Jota, Firmino, Van Dijk, Tavares.
Is Arthur a real person?
Arthur.
Yeah.
I don't
know whether he's actually. He is back in training apparently. So,
is he?
Yeah. Big things.
Well, when I got these, when I was looking to get these, it said Mello.
Yeah,
and I was literally like, who's this? And now I realised, it's not Arthur, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a funny one, isn't it? Talking about him, he is a funny one. Do you know he was playing? I know the young lad who's just signed. Lewis Kumas just signed his pro contract.
Yeah.
And he said to my son that Arthur was training with them, the young lads and that for a while, which is.
I think he was trying to get him fit,
Right,
which is
okay.
a bit of a worry that we were desperate for a midfielder and we brought in one who's got fitness problems like that.
Yeah,
It says quite a bit about the recruitment at the time.
Yeah, that's it. It's still when you look at, okay, take half right, look at the players that play. Diaz, Konate, Jota, Firmino, Van Dijk.
Yeah, there'll be 3 of them that will definitely be in the team.
Yeah, you taking Konate out or you taking Firmino?
Firmino probably.
Firmino.
Ordinarily, if everyone was fit, Firmino wouldn't play, but
Yeah.
he's top scorer this season, despite being
Yeah.
out for a while. But I think everyone fit Firmino wouldn't be in the team.
Yeah.
Van Dijk, Konate, Diaz would.
Yeah.
Jota potentially would.
Yeah, Jota, yeah. He's a great player, Jota. But that's, again, like I say, for me, that's a great time to play Liverpool when you're missing key players like that, and they are big injuries. So you can see, like you've said a few times, it's all over the place at the moment, and you can see why when you're missing such huge players. But
that's why I said that when we were talking about Liverpool, it's a bit of a combination of things, but do they all link to the same thing? You know, are these injuries all linked to the fact that they play too much football and we've asked them to do too much? So
yeah,
potentially.
Could be. Right, we're going to go on to weekend fixtures now. I had to shorten that part 3 down a little bit because we have gone on for far too long. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump into part 4, weekend fixtures. We'll give you our predictions and we'll wrap this up, okay? Right, okay, part 4, weekend fixtures. We're going to run through this quite quick because if you're still watching now, fair play to you because we've just got carried away there. But that's what this show will do. We'll start on one thing, and if we start we'll just see how it goes, okay? That's how it's going to go, guys. Nice relaxed chat. So, I'm going to go predictions. I'll do mine in black. John, I'll tell you what, now I'll do mine in blue and yours in red.
Fair enough.
How's that?
Yeah, makes sense.
Go on, West Ham v Chelsea.
West Ham 2, Chelsea 1.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. Let me put that. I'm going to go... I'm just going to go with Chelsea. I'm going to go Chelsea... I'm going for a 1-0. Arsenal, Brentford.
3-1 Arsenal. Back to winning ways.
I'm going to go 3-0. Palace, Brighton. That's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's tough to call.
1-1.
I just 1-1.
Yeah.
I just think I'm going to go 3-1 Brighton. I say it's tough to call, but I just think Brighton are just got something about them.
If it was going another way, it would have been a Brighton win, but yeah.
Go on. Fulham, Forest.
2-1 Fulham.
2-1 Fulham. 2-2. Leicester, Spurs.
1-1 again. I reckon Leicester will get something.
Do you?
Yeah.
They've been doing well, haven't they?
They're just the hit and miss, aren't they?
Yeah. I'm not. I'm going to go 3-1 Spurs. Southampton, Wolves.
Oh.
You heard it here first, by the way, guys. If these are right, honestly, you're in for a fortune. Go on.
I told you I'm 9th out of 10 in the Super 6.
9 out of 10 in Super 6.
Southampton 1, Wolves 2.
Okay. Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to go for that as well. I'm going to copy. Go on, Bournemouth, Newcastle.
2-0 Newcastle.
Okay. I'm going to go for 4-1.
Okay.
I love high scores. Don't you look at my scores?
Yeah, goals galore.
Leeds v Man U.
3-1 Man U.
3-1 Man U.
Yeah.
2-0 Man U. City Villa.
3-1 City.
I'll go for... Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to copy again. 3-1. 3-1's a good one because I do think they'll concede.
This one, go with your heart, go with your head.
Go on, heart. I'm going to go with my heart, 100%. 7-0 Everton. Go on.
Watch football again. 1-0 Liverpool.
1-0.
I'm not scoring many.
I'm going to go for 2-1 Everton.
Possible.
We'll see. We'll see. Is it though? We'll see. Guys, there's our predictions. Just to finish off, we would have told you why we're going for that and give a bit more on it. But look, we've been talking for probably this is going to be over an hour. This one. It's my idea to keep it down a little bit, but do you know what? You just end up chatting away as we have done. So Ben, thank you very much for coming on, mate. Thanks a lot.
Come on, mate. I wish
guys,
not saying good luck to you.
No, I'm not saying good luck to you. No. Good luck in everything you do. But no, but guys, thanks very much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Leave your comments down below. If you want to get on the channel, like Ben has, drop me a message down below. Any fans, be good to get you on. I'm looking next week. It'll be great for any Man City fans or Newcastle fans. But if you're any other fan, you want to get on and have a chat, get on and have a chat. It's just a nice chat. Look, Ben's even got a beer. He even got beers to supply. So
good host.
Yeah, good host. There you go, guys. Thanks very much. Like, share, subscribe. Take it easy.